Hello, everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic, host of Bachelor Nation News. And it's our first official day off, first free Monday after like 17 seasons of Bachelor, Bachelor in Paradise, Claire 2.0. Dacia's here, host is there, Chris Harrison's here, Matt James was supposed to be on Claire. It's a whole lot went down in the pandemic. And now we're like, all right, let's just take a break. We've got a day off. And the Chatty Broads are like, or not. How about we'll have controversy? This is video 4 of what's probably going to be. I thought one video was all we were going to do, but you guys want to talk about it. And let the record state throughout this controversy here that I'm actually not going hard on them at all. I think I can understand where they're coming from, and I can understand the mistakes that they've made. So if you haven't followed this story, they are now responding to the backlash. An emergency podcast, of course, Chatty Broads is a Bachelor recap podcast that has tried to do more, or I should say less Bachelor-related content. Fans felt duped after they made a live stream showing of the season they didn't recap, but then did the finale. Fans felt like it was a money grab, and then it turns out it wasn't actually live. It was pre-taped. And then, of course, fans got a refund, and they kind of did like sort of a half apology. That's just how it went down. Well, now Becca posted, emergency international recording session, lol, out tomorrow, clearing the air on some stuff. Now, this is a crossroads because this is a crisis PR situation. It's not the end of the world, but there is a group of followers that do feel let down by them. And it's interesting as we watch this in some sort of a like really niche. I mean, this is real niche that I'm commenting on a recap show for a TV show that a segment of our population watches. Very niche, folks. But again, YouTube's all about niching down, and boy, have we ever. I am not casting judgment on what they do as a channel, and I will be very interested to hear what they have to say. Chances are they intended to do a real live stream, and then something got in the way. She was traveling. Maybe they needed to get the kid to the dentist. Who knows? Who knows what got in the way? Who knows? Point being, is it easy to forgive someone when they had no malicious intent to whatever, maybe a white lie or a failure to include all information? That's what we're going to have to find out. But if they go on this live stream and act more defensive than maybe graceful or humbled, then of course people that are on the fence might fall to the wrong side of the fence as far as they're concerned. When it comes to influencers and content creators, if you kind of jockey yourself as this isn't a news-based show. This is a friend. People watch them because they feel like they're friends of theirs that can receive content and entertainment. And if you no longer feel like your friends are being loyal to you, people leave. People grow weary of such situations. I don't believe that to be the case. I believe they're trying the best with the information they have. Aren't we all? But of course, some people are very upset about this. And with Becca, I think one of the bigger problems, I don't really know much about Jess's personality whatsoever. But with Becca, we do know she has sort of enjoyed the spoils of canceling certain people. Obviously, she had a tumultuous at best relationship with Reality Steve and wanted him gone. And we saw, in the past, her sort of wanting other people canceled, or, canceling is a tough term to use, but wanting them to pay the price in a public way for actions that they've committed. And when, of course, she has been, unearthed previous, problematic behavior, some might say. Again, I don't live on a pedestal where I look down on these people whatsoever. They're humans. They're complicated. Becca's a mom. You know what I mean? I actually feel bad for people when it's like she's, wondering what clean pants to put on the kids and who's going to watch them when she goes on a date night. And she's talked about her relationship before, and we've covered it where, maybe they don't get to have intimacy because, she's, she's still a young mom. My mom was young when she raised me, and I look back at how hard it must have been for my mom. Small business owner. That's what they are. Is she making a lot of money? Maybe she is. I don't know. Is she working real hard to secure a sort of a future for her family? Yeah. And moms are super protective. That's just how it works. Dads are too, but we're talking about Becca here. And her being a mom might not have too much to do with this. But anyway, I'm telling you this because I'm looking at ways in which I empathize with her. Not that I am a mom, but you don't have to be something to empathize with it. You just have to put yourself in their shoes. And I put myself in the shoes of someone who's like, look, she's I don't know why she's in Nicaragua or what she's doing down there, but she's on vacation, traveling or working, doing business, and she's got a nice little suntan there going on, and she's got to take the time to address a situation that they are responsible for. The problem, as I see it, though, is that, as I always say, the pendulum swings way past the intended target. And did they do something so egregious that they need to have a emergency press conference? Maybe, maybe not. But the audience, I think, should respect or at least appreciate that they are going out of their way to clarify what the hell actually went down. And hopefully they just own up to it. My guess is they'll say something like this. We intended to do a live stream, and then once we realized it wasn't going to be live, we stopped promoting it as such, but we obviously were still disingenuous, and we wanted to give you guys a great experience. We're refunding it, obviously, in the future. We're not going to, whatever. You just got to be truthful, and you just got to lay it out there. You lost who you're going to lose, and that's okay too. Some of the comments I'll read for you guys from people. I've never listened to Chatty Broads, but this feels very reminiscent of something that happened with the hosts of Girls Gotta Eat in 2020. They were called out by lots of people, rightfully so. Then they released an episode called Let's Talk About It, where they took absolutely no accountability for their actions and put the blame on their listeners. That was it for me and a lot of other people. Again, I'm not going to rush to judgment until we wait to hear what they have to say. But sometimes, and you know what another thing happens with audiences is they don't like the apology they get. A lot of times audiences go, we don't like this apology. Like Becca says, please know if you had issues with the virtual show. So clearly at first she was probably receiving a lot of judgment from people, and you get defensive. So a lot of times people will go, oh my gosh, they didn't even apologize. And then 2 weeks later they apologize. And now that you've lost money, you feel sorry. And it's like, well, money's definitely an indicating force, along with shame and ostracization. Jeez, I pronounced that right. And a lot of other things. So people don't always realize why they've offended others right away. People don't always realize why they need to make amends to something right away. And part of the benefit of being a content creator like they are is that you get the chance to make a lot of money in some cases when things are going well. And also, as a small business owner, you got to deal with the fact that your audience is going to want to have you live to a certain standard. So we'll have to see how it all goes. Saw this comment. I listen to both Dave and the Broads Bros on a daily basis, and after reading some comments here and on Reddit, can I just say that I think Becca is very misunderstood and is often overly chastised, and I think it's an interesting point, and important to note that if she were a man and not a woman, this would most likely not be the case. While a woman is expected to be pleasant first and foremost, a man with her personality type is allowed to be boisterous, snarky, interesting, and pleasant with little to no character critique at the level that Becca receives. Overall, yeah, they effed up a little bit, but don't we all? They're obviously good people with generally good intentions, it seems. I don't know. I say we have a little grace and chill. It's not that serious, in my opinion. Grace and Chill seems like a good podcast. Should we start a show called Grace and Chill? It's like, all right, we'll light up some weed, and we'll see who's getting canceled, and we'll go, let's just have some grace and chill for a second here. Hope you and your loved ones have a good week, good day, good week, Dave. Thank you so much, AT. I really appreciate that. I agree with you on so many levels. Like, look, I can't properly say that this is just a gender thing, but obviously women and men are held to different standards. Becca definitely has a position where she'll be judgy sometimes of others, and that can, slap you in the ass, right back at you. And I feel like a lot of people that are less judgy are the ones that have been either shamed by this community or have been sort of dealt a burn where they understand, man, it sucks to put yourself out there. Like me personally, I know, I read the comments. I know, man, sometimes it sucks when you're called out or people conflate your thoughts on things, or they just don't like you. And, it makes you just realize that hey, everyone's trying their best and there's no need to get an ego inflated to a certain level. I'm not saying that they were, but also the audience of the content creators have a real hard time empathizing with them because they make money. They do travel. I know I was shamed over the weekend because someone was saying, oh, I take all my donation money and travel all the time. Now my fiance wants to book a once-in-a-life trip to Chile, and I'm like, I have to think twice because in the back of my head, there's somebody out there who's judging me for trying to live my life. You know what I mean? So you're under the public scrutiny, and what you do with it is kind of is up to you. So I made a video earlier today about Claire talking about the anxiety she received on her show, and I mentioned that she was an introvert and that I was probably both an introvert and an extrovert. And what I didn't realize is that there's a term for that, ambivert. Ambivert squad. Ambiverts have a mix of introversion and extroversion. I relate to you, Dave. I function best with a balance of alone time and social time. I'm an ambivert. that is an intro extra. At least that's my understanding. I like my me time, but I also like being bubbly and talking to folks. However, if I do that too much, anxiety starts and I am a vegetable the next day if I've been overstimulated. I do best in one-on-one connections and I take a while to warm up, but I eventually get there. Ambivert is a word for people that are, okay, so very nice. And look at that. I didn't even know there was a term. So it's a balance of the two. Ambiverts engage in a pattern of talking and listening equally since they share characteristics of those super outgoing and those more reserved. I'll be talking and listening at 2 p.m. Pacific time today. We'll do a live stream. We'll have to see, I'm planning on hearing about the men from the next season of Bachelorette being dumped on us, and hopefully they're released by then. If not, we're just going to do a live stream anyway, and we'll discuss some of the news going on our channel, play a bunch of voicemails if you want to check out that 401-213-9828. And again, with regards to the situation that's going down right now with Chatty Broads, it's obviously not a big deal in the greater scheme of things, but let's just see what they have to say. That's how a two-way street works. We need to be quicker to counseling and not so quick to canceling. And of course, people will say, well, they've showed us their true colors time in and time again. But if you really think they're family, and if you watch them and believe in them, then you're going to accept that they're going to stumble along the way. Aren't we all? Let me know what you guys think. We'll be back in a little bit. Bye, guys.